Hello, everyone, and welcome to Peaceful Life Radio. I'm Don Drew, and I'm podcasting from a small town on the east coast of Japan, where I've been coming for over 47 years. The town I'm in is Omeka, in the prefecture of Ibaraki, and I'm talking to you from the Izumi Shrine, a small but peaceful island of calm in an otherwise incredibly busy world. Izumi Jinja, Japanese for Izumi Shrine, is a Shinto holy place, one of over 100,000 public shrines in mainland Japan. My goal today is to share with you some thoughts about the value of discovering special physical and mental spaces of peace in our lives and ways in which you might find them enriching to your spirit. But first, I want to introduce you to this place, and in order to do that, I need to explain a little bit about the Shinto religion and its emphasis on special holy places, known more commonly to Westerners as thin, liminal, or numinous places. So here goes. The Izumi Shrine area I'm sitting in is buried in a small forest surrounded by suburban neighborhoods. You enter the grounds by walking beneath a large torii, or gate, which marks the entrance into all such places. The way to the main shrine is about 100 yards ahead. Here is a straight stone path lined on each side with narrow flags declaring wishes and prayers of many faith adherents. As you approach the main shrine, to the left there is a golden dragon the size of a small cat, dispersing water for ritual cleansing before you approach the shrine. The main shrine is an ancient and beautiful structure, but we won't be stopping there today. Instead, to our right is another narrower and winding stone path that leads to a smaller but more ornate shrine beside a pool of water. The water in the pool is shallow and very clear, the forest quiet, rarely interrupted by noise outside the shrine area. Sunlight peeks in through the branches of numerous tall trees of various types, casting a spotlight on the main show, which lies at the bottom of the pool. The floor of the pool consists of a white sandy bottom, and up from the sand bubbles water from a natural spring, lifting the sand into a miniature clouds that immediately resettle on the bottom of the pool. This show has gone on unabated for thousands of years, providing fresh water to local inhabitants. It is here since I was a 19-year-old college student, studying at a university in this town, that I have discovered my most peaceful place on earth. It is no wonder the locals thought this was surely a place where God dwelled. Shinto, which means the way of the gods, is Japan's native belief system and predates any recorded history. Practices, attitudes, and institutions have developed to make Shinto revolve around Japanese land and the seasons in relation with human inhabitants. In short, Shinto gods, called kami, inhabit all things. Like all religions, Shinto has a wide variety of practices and interpretations, and it's not my intention to provide more than a general description. There is an emphasis on ritual washing, a belief that humans are fundamentally good, and an emphasis more on this life than in any afterlife. In short, the Shinto religion concludes that if God or gods inhabit everything, those places and spaces where the divine presence is more intuitively obvious should be venerated and celebrated. This is not an exclusively Japanese concept. The ancient precinct of Delphi, where the famous Oracle of Delphi prophesied, rests on the southwestern slope of Mount Parnassus in Greece. The surviving ruins date from its most active period in the 6th century BCE, or approximately 2,600 years ago. It was at Delphi that, according to myth, Apollo slew Python and its body fell into this rock fissure with fumes arising from its decomposing body. Intoxicated by the vapors, the oracle would fall into a trance and she would be able to foretell the future. It is in this manner that peoples and religions have discovered or created for themselves thin places, where the boundary between the physical world and the spiritual realm seems especially thin. First called thin places by the ancient Celts, these are places where one may feel the sense of the divine, where the ordinary and the sacred seem to intersect. Thin places are considered by many as sacred or holy, imbued with a deep spiritual presence. They are generally locations where individuals feel a stronger connection to the divine or the transcendent. Some such places are geographic in that they are natural landscapes. Occasionally, they are ancient ruins or sites with long-standing religious or cultural significance. The cliffs of Moher in Ireland are inspiring for their green expanse, sheer height, and roiling ocean below. They place on exhibition the power of nature to create rare beauty unmatched by much of mundane life. Thin places are often steeped in history and tradition. They might be pilgrimage sites or places with myths and legends associated with them. The cultural context of these locations may enhance their perceived spiritual power and thinness. Such places go by many names. Some call them sacred places, places designated as holy or imbued with spiritual significance in various religious traditions, such as temples, churches, shrines, and natural sites. Others refer to thin places as liminal, areas or even moments that exist on the threshold between two different existential planes. The term liminal is used in both spiritual and secular contexts to describe spaces where ordinary experiences feel heightened or altered. Yet, for others, certain land is considered holy ground, being sacred or consecrated and often associated with divine presence or significant religious events. New Age and holistic traditions sometimes refer to such places as power spots, locations believed to have concentrated spiritual energy or healing properties. I recently climbed Mount Tsukuba in Japan, and rare and unusual rock formations were labeled as power spots on the map. For ancient Mediterraneans, axis mundi was the Latin term meaning the center point upon which the whole world turns. This concept, used in many cosmologies, represented the connection between heaven and earth, a central point where the spiritual and physical worlds meet, such as Mount Meru in Hinduism, or the Bodhi tree in Buddhism, or the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Portal or vortex are terms sometimes used in metaphysical and spiritual contexts to describe places like an axis mundi, believed to be entry points to other dimensions or planes of existence, such as the energy vortices in Sedona, Arizona. Then there are destinations with religious or spiritual significance where individuals travel to seek enlightenment, healing, or divine connection, such as Mecca for Muslims or Santiago de Compostela for Catholic Christians. These are thin places known as pilgrimage sites. Yet another form of thin place can often be found in ancestral lands, areas revered by indigenous cultures. These are often considered places where the spirits of ancestors reside. Collectively, all such special places are sometimes referred to as numinous places, a term coined by Rudolf Otto. Locations that evoke a sense of profound, mysterious, awe-inspiring aspect of the divine or the holy. Each of these terms and concepts reflect the idea of locations where the separation between the ordinary and the sacred feels minimal, providing opportunities for discovering greater peace and deeper connection to the universe or the divine. Visiting such places can lead to a sense of transformation or enlightenment. People often report feelings of peace, clarity, and a deeper understanding of their purpose or the nature of existence after spending time in such places. But thin places or spaces are not always some specific place. Sometimes the experience of a thin place is subjective and personal. What one person might find profound, another might not. Many of you would not see or feel what I do when I'm sitting by my pool of sandy water. The sense of a thin place often comes from personal reflection, meditation, or heightened awareness of the surroundings. It is possible to create a thin place for ourselves, and I would like to spend the rest of our time together talking about how you might discover or create your own special place, one where you might uncover peace in an otherwise busy world. You see, the concept of thin places highlights our human desire to find and connect with something greater than ourselves, to seek out space where the veil between the mundane and the mystical is perceptibly thinner. Whether through natural beauty, historical significance, or personal resonance, thin places offer an opportunity for spiritual reflection and growth. For those of us who are as interested in the scientific as well as the metaphysical, there are neuropsychological aspects contributing to the existence of thin places. Experiences of spirituality and transcendence have been associated with increased activity in the temporal lobes of the brain, a region linked to processing emotions, memory, and sensory input, all of which are crucial to our perceptions of sacredness and awe. Something referred to by scientists as the default mode network, also known as the default network or default state network, is a network of brain regions active during rest and introspection and is involved in self-referential thoughts which may be modulated during spiritual experiences. This network of brain activity can lead to feelings of unity and connection with something greater than ourselves. Thin places have the ability to evoke strong emotional responses, enhancing memory encoding and retrieval. The emotional intensity of these experiences can make them more memorable and impactful. Being in a thin place can also enhance mindfulness, a state of focused awareness on the present moment. This heightened awareness may lead to deeper emotional and cognitive experiences. Creating a thin place for yourself involves fostering an environment and mindset conducive to experiencing a set of transcendence, peace, and connection. There are several things you can do to create your own right environment. For some, spending time in natural settings like forests, mountains, beaches, or parks works best. But if you want something more private and closer to home, try creating your own green and living environment through a small garden area. My co-host David and his wife Carrie have created their own outdoor space on their patio and very small backyard space, filling it with beautiful trees and plants, along with outdoor art and water and fire elements. You can also designate a specific area in your home as your special place. Decorate it with objects that have personal spiritual significance, such as candles, art, or religious icons. Back home, Christy and I have in our home what we call the Peace Room. This simple room with 7 windows, a small fireplace, a few furnishings, and a variety of meaningful art on its walls serves as our thin place at home. You don't need a whole room to achieve the same effect. Discover what works for you. Certain practices or rituals can also enhance the experience. Practicing meditation or prayer can help calm the mind, increase awareness, and foster a sense of connection to something greater. Try engaging in deep breathing exercises to center yourself and to enhance your awareness of the present moment, and it may help to create a sensory experience for yourself. Some use essential oils or incense to create a calming and pleasant atmosphere. You might consider playing calming music, nature sounds, or using singing bowls or chimes to create a soothing auditory environment. If possible, surround yourself with visually appealing items that inspire peace and contemplation. One thing that can really help is to be consistent in your practice. Most religions have their own rituals that gain strength through repetition. Most important is to establish personal rituals that have meaning for you. These could be as simple as lighting a candle at the beginning of a meditation or prayer session. A friend of mine who teaches graduate theology uses this practice to start his morning prayers. For others, engaging in creative activities like drawing, painting, writing, or music that to them expresses their inner self and allows them to connect with deeper emotions. Yet others practice yoga and other movements integrating body, mind, and spirit. Thin places can be discovered rather than created. Some choose to participate in spiritual or community gatherings where they can share experiences and support each other's journeys. Others engage in intentional acts of kindness or service to others. Helping others can foster a sense of connection and purpose. But no one has to travel to Japan, Greece, or even the local forest to experience the benefits of thin places. Creating a thin place for yourself only involves cultivating an environment and mindset that fosters peace, mindfulness, and a sense of connection. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you can create spaces where the boundary between the physical and the spiritual feels more permeable, enhancing your sense of well-being and transcendence. I realize why I am drawn here time and again. Not just to Japan, but to this place. The simple, clear, and bubbling pool on the grounds of a Shinto shrine has no specific religious significance for me, but the beauty of the water and the clouds of sand, the depth and silence of the Azumi forest, and the idea that for eons people have come here to find comfort and pray all make this place special for me. That, and throughout all the changes in my life over the past 47 years, this place has gone unchanged. But I have discovered and created multiple spaces in my life where I can enhance my access to peace. Here's wishing you success on your own search to uncover and create space in your life for greater peace. Mata atode.